Hey guys, Uncle Care Bear here with my friend Skippy. I've been bugged for so long, too long. Annoyed to the point that when this thing came out, I had no interest in seeing it at first. I really didn't, because this ain't my forte. But I came around to see it anyway because after being bugged by so long by a certain individual that I am not going to say names at all, because if I do, it'll just give him attention and all that other nonsense, but it should be obvious enough who the hell it is. But after being bugged so much, I decided some time ago I'd watch this movie. And I did watch it some time ago. Okay. I decided to watch it again just so I can make sure I do this and get this done and say fuck you to that guy. And Peanut, I hope you enjoyed your butter. So, The Batman. The Batman. Now, you got so many Batman movies out there. You have the ones that Christopher Nolan did that were his own vision of taking the Batman story and turning it into his own. And we all know about Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises. They're all superb. Christian Bale is a fantastic Bruce Wayne. Then you had the TV series with Adam West. Then you also ended up having Michael Keaton's Batman in the 80s, which was a mediocre film. Then you had the Batman Returns later on. Then you had the Batman versus Robin, which was absolute dog shit to no end. There's a lot of Batman stuff out there in cinema, both good and bad. Then you got the video games, the classic one for the NES, that is an awesome game. Then I believe there was another one for the Super Nintendo that I believe was okay. I can't remember what the name of that title was. But hits and misses with video games, and you had the whole world of comic books, that where obviously any superhero comes from is in the world of the graphic novels, action figures, cereal, you name it. The Batman is everywhere. Sure enough, there's always an interpretation to where you want to take the original story of what was given of who this beloved character is and turn it into your own. This is one of those cases to where that interpretation does come into play, but here's the thing though, this is not your average film at all. You're not your average superhero film, not your average storytelling. This is something to where it adds a little bit more of a real life true crime type of thing, where you take the records of a real life criminal and turn it into a villain. You know the old saying where you see that one kid, that quiet kid, you just leave him alone, don't fuck with them? Yeah, that interpretation does seem to happened really well and explains the Riddler in a nutshell. Just leave the quiet kid alone. You don't know what trauma he's gone through or what he has. He's probably a dog pass, and if you keep bothering him, he's going to end up turning into a crook. That's the best way I can literally describe the Riddler in a nutshell. Paul Dano, who played as the Riddler. I'm just going to talk about the characters real quick because, goddamn, absolute genius. Paul Dano, for me, was my favorite character in the whole film. He was portrayed as a psychopath and a sinister, but I say this in a abbreviated and a literal term, figuratively symbolizing and literally a mad genius. He was portrayed as a mad genius. Paul Dano's voice, obviously you can see the inspiration of taking the infamous serial killer of the Zodiac and turning the whole wardrobe into a costume while giving the whole codes, the symbol, everything. You can see that was taken and put into this movie in its own original standard, and it really stood out a lot. Now let's talk about our main guy, our hero, our beloved superhero Batman. Oh, excuse me, Detective Batman. My mistake. Now, Robert Pattinson, who was the Batman, now as Bruce Wayne. Now, I gotta keep telling myself this. Now, Bruce Wayne, I know he looks like a young guy. His hair's all over the place. He's not wearing a suit or anything. Gotta put the perspective from Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne, which is my personal favorite, aside and look at the fact that he is broken down. He doesn't want to be. He has the money. He lives in a big ass house. He's got maids and butlers. He's got all these people and he's got contacts and he's a well-known infamous man from his father, Thomas Wayne. But Bruce Wayne is nothing like that at all. And I got to look at that perspective of how he comes off. He's got the dark voice. He's very melancholy. Um, he feels and looks like shit. And I'm not saying that as an asshole, but just going by from the way he looks. He's got emotion in his eyes, and you can see pain. However, though, there's just something about him. This is like a nitpick for me. There's just something about looking at Bruce Wayne that, for Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, that this just does not click with me at all. Just that persona of Robert Pattinson in this film, it just didn't really click, and I understood it. It was all explained in the film, but just visually looking at him, I just couldn't get the feel of it. However, though, when he put on the Batman suit, for any woman or man out there that, especially any females that's got daddy issues, and you were a fan of Twilight, if you're a fan of Robert Pattinson, well, you're gonna love him a lot more. You're gonna probably get a little bit of overexciting in certain places that I'm not gonna say because this is a family show. You're gonna get excited seeing him as Batman because holy hell, if you got daddy issues, you can call the Batman daddy in this portrayal. I sure as hell can. Him as Batman equal daddy. But really though, the thing is that with this particular Batman though, he was more of a detective. He was more of a detective, and I was very invested with how his portrayal was. He came off more like a detective, working with the police, understanding the crimes, finding out the clues, figuring out the riddles that the Riddler has left us, and going on and so forth. And that's where it leads to talk about the storytelling that I'm going to bounce back to another character that I will mention briefly in a little bit. Now, folks, this film literally has everything. It's got horror, mystery, action, dark comedy, mobsters. This movie has so many different things playing out that it just came together and harmonized as one symphony of amazement. Something that for any viewer who loves any of these genres that I mentioned, it's all compiled into this film in the most unique fashion. Now, the thing is that there's more believability when the Batman himself, he feels more like a Zorro. He lives under a character and he has all the gadgets, but underneath that mask is a man with a past and he's there when needed. Batman symbol, just like with the main story with the Riddler. Now, Zoe Kravitz, I think I have said her name right. Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle, or our lovely Catwoman, which is an outstanding portrayal that she had. She wants answers with the disappearance of her friend. Simple enough. All tying in with the mafia. I shall say no more. And the thing is that the two stories, when you see the Batman's particular villain he's going after, then you see with Selena's villain that she's going after, getting answers that she has questions for, how they were able to get together, understand, bounce off, work. It truly is something how both those storytellings is that how it separates from one thing and goes into another in a very outstanding pace manner is truly unique. Colin Farrell as the Penguin, Al Capone. Selena Kyle, Zoe Kravitz, beautiful, good looking, attractive, emotional, and kicks ass. It's amazing how those two were able to work together. The camera work, scenery, usage of rain, and which happens a lot in this film, showcasing the darkness that the movie brings, especially in the beginning element, which I really admired. Especially the fact that it was an introduction to the Batman himself, just the whole generalization of the Batman we all know and love and familiar with, going out, saving lives and kicking ass and taking names and all that other stuff. Then it just goes into the main story right afterwards. So overall, as for this whole movie, it's like I said, it's dark, grim, spooky, suspenseful, shot of real life criminal inspirations turned into an original format, adding to the characters, brilliance beyond and chase after a criminal. One thing leads to another and has very risky costs that lead to severe consequences. Action is incredible. The seeing how the Batman and all the tropes that we all know put into this film. This movie was absolutely amazing. Definitely one of the best Batman films I have seen. I can't give enough praise to this film a lot. This is something that is worth watching. It is absolutely fantastic. So, with that being said, The Batman is a film that I happen to give a 4.5 out of 5 to. It is a fantastic film. Why that why that particular score? Again, my nitpick that is just in my own mind. But folks, let me know down below your thoughts with the Batman. I would like to hear your explanations. And with that being said, I'm gonna go eat some peanut butter.